So I think we can all agree that washing larger vehicles is kind of a pain. But in today's video, I'm gonna show you 5, well, 6 actually, but essentials that are gonna make that job a whole lot easier for you. Now, a large vehicle is all relative, right? I'm 6'2", I have pretty long arms. A large vehicle for me is a larger SUV. Someone that's, smaller, 5'2", 5'6", something like that. Even your standard 4-door passenger vehicle may seem big to you, and the items I'm gonna show you in today's video are gonna make that job easier for you as well. So the first item actually goes without saying, that's why I'm not really including it in this. It's not one of the 5, this is the 6th one that we're just gonna cover real quickly, and that's your soaps. But more importantly, pH neutral, and then also a higher pH pre-wash if the vehicle needs it. Now the vehicle I'm doing today is my 2019 Sprinter van. Now it doesn't really need a pre-wash. It's dirty, but it's not like it has a bunch of caked on stuff. It's just kind of been sitting outside. Obviously these are taller vehicles and I couldn't store it inside. So it's been raining, it's just gotten dirty. But why do we talk about a pre-wash? And that is because if your vehicle is excessively dirty, has a lot of buildup of dust and debris and dirt and all that kind of stuff, you can foam on a pre-wash. It's a higher pH, more alkaline on the pH scale, and that's gonna help to break all that stuff down, loosen it up, and then you can rinse it away. If you're doing that, you can foam that on dry, let it kind of penetrate the dirt, and then rinse it off. Now, if you don't need to do that step, just move right along to a normal pH neutral soap, and that's where we get into item number 1, and that is gonna be a foam cannon. Now, why do I recommend using a foam cannon? Because, especially on a larger vehicle, there's more surface area to cover, and I like to apply my soap using a foam cannon as well as using a wash bucket, but I like to use a foam cannon to get nice, consistent, even coverage. It's also gonna add some lubricity to the surface while I'm going in for my contact wash, and just gonna help to break everything down a little bit easier. Again, with these large vehicles, ease is the name of the game here. We're trying to simplify the process and make it easier for ourselves so we're not, struggling to cover all the surface area of this vehicle. So foam cannon is essential to me. I love using this thing, especially on larger vehicles. Now guys, in this video, I am using the MJJC foam cannons. Those are my favorite. They seem to get the most amount of foam. They have a 360-degree nozzle, so you can change the spray pattern from vertical to horizontal. I love them. I'll have those linked down in the description for you guys, but I'll also link some cheaper options if you're just wanting something to try out if you've never used a foam cannon. But eventually, I do recommend go with an MJJC just because you do get so much more foam production. They're just easier to work with. They work really, really well. You could also go with an MTM. Those are fantastic as well. Smaller hole for filling up your soap, but still they get a lot of foam and are built well. Now moving on to item number 2, and that is going to be a wash brush with a long handle attachment, so you can access those areas that are harder to get to. The one I prefer is this guy here from Auto Fiber. This thing is fantastic. You have 2 options for the head. So this is just their basic noodle attachment, and then they also have a Dragon Plush attachment. I don't have any preference, honestly, on which head that I use. The Dragon Plush seems to hold a little bit more water and soap, in my personal opinion, but I also really, really like just the basic noodle. But the reason I like this one in particular is the build quality. There's no flex to the handle. It's very, very stout. Let me go ahead and just disconnect this for you guys here so you can see the construction. But it's this awesome frame that's super, super stiff, and as you can see, the screw-in point seats way inside, so you don't have to worry about any bare metal or any material hitting the surface of the vehicle. It's all wrapped, and you can see how thick this nice cushioning is. And when you put it back together, again, goes right in there. Obviously on my Sprinter van, I do have solar panels on it, and this thing is also fantastic. Just if you guys have a house that has solar panels and you want to get up and clean them, this is a fantastic tool to do that. And you can actually even get extensions, so you can extend this thing as far as you need to get the job done. Now back to the head unit of this thing, it is removable, which is really nice, so you can wash it if you want to. And then you have this Velcro backed head unit here, so you can just place that on here. Now this is the Pro version, and what that means is that it is fully adjustable. So right now it's all locked in place, the head unit is just locked in place. You just twist this halfway, and now this moves up and down, right? Still locked in from side to side though, but then you just hit this little button, and now it moves side to side as well. So as you can see, we have full 360 maneuverability with this thing. Now, when I use this, I personally do not use it in that form. For me, it's just a little bit too much. It gets a little squirrely, but I do like to be able to set it in whatever position I want and then get to work, and then it works perfectly. I love this thing. Really a fantastic tool. And really probably the most important, when I'm cleaning a large vehicle, this is really what's gonna cut the time down, especially on my Sprinter van, guys. I'm able to reach across the whole roof of this thing, essentially. I obviously have to go around just to get the other side of the solar panels, but instead of having to move a ladder or whatever else 20 times to get around this thing, I can basically place it in one spot and reach the whole, at least half of the roof, and then move on to the other side. Okay, so item 3 on this list is all about getting more access to the areas that are harder to reach, and that is a ladder, or more importantly, this is what I love to use, and this is one of those work platforms. So the legs just fold out like this, and this thing is awesome because it gives you way more access and way more stability while you're working on it. Now, of course, there are still times when you need to use a ladder. Me personally, with my Sprinter van, I have a high roof. I have to use a ladder to be able to get all the way up. But in most cases, this thing, when I'm working on like an SUV or something like that, this thing is absolutely perfect. It gives me access to the roof. And again, I have the stability. I'm not worried about falling off of a ladder. And it allows me to move from side to side. So I'm able to access, you know, the front of the roof and the back of the roof all at once. So this thing just really helps me speed up my process. I just place it in the middle of the vehicle and then I don't have to move it. I can get around and get things done much, much quicker. Another benefit of this thing is you can see this little yellow button here. You just press that in and then the legs fold right back down and it lays really, really flat. So for me as a mobile detailer in my truck or my van, this doesn't take up a lot of space because it lays so flat. And then also for storing it in the garage or in my shop, it's really nice because it just lays flat up against the wall. So now the whole vehicle has been foamed up, it's been agitated using, you know, a nice handled brush to get everything all cleaned up. Now it's time to rinse it off, and that's gonna bring us to item number 4, and that is an extension for your pressure washer wand. So if you're using a pressure washer wand that's already long, you can still use this, and I'll show you why. So basically all this is a quick connect right into the front. So again, like I said, if you have a longer pressure washer wand, you can still plug this into the quick connect in the front. It's a standard fitting, and then you can double up the length that you have to rinse stuff off. So again, all you do is quick connect it right into the front, and then you have another quick connect at the other end for your pressure washer nozzle. You can change that out as normal. These things are awesome. This one is from McKillen's. I think MTM makes them. I'll link some down in the description for you guys. But this one I really, really like. McKillen's just seems to be fantastic quality and then slightly less expensive. And you can also get ones in different shapes. They have different lengths, all that kind of stuff. But this one has a little bit of a curve to the top. So it's nice. It kind of helps to keep all of the pressure downward towards the vehicle. But you can also get straight ones or whatever else you need. These are phenomenal. I highly recommend it. And even when you're just using it on a regular size sedan or whatever else, for me, I can reach, but it's nice to have this at times when you need something to help kind of get across the hood. That way you're not leaning up against it or anything else. You could stay back, push all the soap off, and you're good to go. So pressure washer extension, item number 4. Really, really recommend these. These are fantastic. Now with that, the car's been rinsed down. We're on to number 5, and that is drying the vehicle down. So number 5 is using a dedicated actual automotive drying towel. Now my favorite ones are twist loop drying towels, and I did a whole video on that. I'll link it up here for you guys so you can see the test I did between like plush style, waffle weave, twist loops, and all that kind of stuff. And the twist loops are what I found that hold the most water. I love them. And this one is from Auto Fiber, and this one is called the Mega Knot. It is gigantic, as you can see. It's like the size of a beach towel, but like a full-blown large beach towel. It's not your standard bath towel size or anything like that. This thing is very, very big. I'm 6 feet tall, and that's touching the ground. You can barely see my head here. So really, really fantastic. Now, personally, I thought when I first got these in, I thought they'd be great on larger vehicles, but on smaller stuff, I was kind of like, man, it might be too big where I'm nervous about an edge of this dragging across the floor, and then you can pick up any dirt and debris, and then you don't want to rub that into the vehicle. So I was nervous about that. But I have to tell you, since I started using these things, they just hold so much water that I'm able to use it on a couple vehicles. I absolutely love it. Even on a smaller vehicle, you can just fold it in half. It becomes a much more manageable size, or you can just kind of hold it and then use your other hand to control the bottom piece. Fantastic. Also on the large vehicle, on my Sprinter, this thing is incredible because I can use it like I'm using a fishing net, and you just take it and you toss it across the vehicle. It lands across, and then you simply pull it across. You can clear off the windshield really, really fast. The roof, one wipe across the hood, and the whole thing's dry. This thing is phenomenal. I love it. And then, of course, after doing that, you still want to go through with some compressed air or a blower or something like that. Blow out all the tight spots. And then for that final wipe down, I like to use the Amphibian. You can really use any towel because you're just picking up some light stuff here. But I use the Amphibian. It's half twist loop construction, half plush microfiber construction, and I like to use that one. It just makes it easy where I can go pick up everything else, hit the windows, all that kind of good stuff, and then I'm good to go. Again, making my life easier, making it super easy, super efficient to wash larger vehicles. So that's it for today's video. I hope that helps you guys. Hopefully that gives you some good guidance on how to be more efficient. I know big cars are kind of a pain in the butt, especially Sprinter vans. I do a lot of them because people don't want to wash them, and this is my go-to. These items, it makes it way easier for me so I can get the job done faster, get in and out, and keep all my customers happy. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.